do you mean you don't have it? No. With Brett, you get no other chance. No. Past Brett, don't nobody get banned. No. Don't ever think Brett only playing. No. Brett, it ain't no use in praying. No. Brett enjoys all that whole ass compliment. That's why it ain't no use in praying. Spreading like that. Yes, Brett, they're both in like that. Yes, Brett begins when ain't nothing left. Yes, Brett won't hurt you, no, he'll do worse. Yes, when Brett's there by screaming the truth. Yeah, Brett is your agony source. Yeah, Brett's punishment's void of remorse. Yeah, your blood is Brett's uniform. Yeah, Brett's all around you like a storm. Brett, spreading. Like that. Like that. Get punished, motherfucker. You better bad. Oh, shit. You better sad. Oh, I said, motherfucking sorry sack of fucking shit. Scanning this door. You can't have nuts. Right back gonna punish you for being a pussy hoe. Instead, you a pussy hoe. And fuck, motherfucker. Yes. Friends the revenge you never got. No. Friends all your dignity shot. Yes. Friends all the drugs you didn't know. No. Red will burn these into your soul. Yeah. Friends the revenge you never got. No. Friends all your dignity shot. Yeah. Friends all the drugs you didn't know. Yeah. Red will burn these into your soul.
What the fuck is happening, motherfuckers? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, motherfuckers, to another episode. What the fuck is up, y'all? Danny Boy back in the motherfucking house for another episode today of What the Fuck is Happening Now? How's everybody doing? No, I haven't been up on here in a little while. Just about to get into some news and about to talk about some shit. About to talk about some Juggalo Day, some Fearless Fred Fury. Man, so much happening right now. So much going on in the Juggalo world right now. It's insane. So if you're watching, make yourself be known. Let me know you're out there. I know I haven't been up on here in a while, so that's probably why nobody's up on here with me. But we'll get the show started there anyway. So welcome back, motherfuckers, to What the Fuck is Happening Now. Today is February 23rd, 2019, and here we are on another exciting episode of What the Fuck is Happening Now. There's a lot of news to talk about. What's going on, Brooklyn? Good to see you in the motherfucking house. I don't know where everybody went. I had all kinds of people watching for my little intro, and then everyone disappeared. But it's all good. We'll go ahead and start anyway. So I'll start off with kind of some of the slower news going on, while nobody's watching. Start off with some strange music news. A lot of new music dropping out of the strange music camp right now. I apologize for my voice right now. I got juggalitis. So in case I sound like a fucking stuffed up marshmallow head, it's because I have juggalitis. But that's okay. But anyway, yeah, for all you strangeists out there, there's new fucking music dropping out of strange music camp. Stevie Stone just dropped a new EP, I think yesterday. Mayday just dropped a surprise album a couple days ago, maybe like a week ago. So there's some new fucking music coming out. What's up, Gasper? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that what's called? Yes, I got the juggalitis. I'm wondering. I haven't really talked to anybody that went to JDAY to see who all got sick. So I assume you got sick too, Silent J. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't get it until I came back. Like, I felt good the whole time I was in New Orleans, and then bam, got back, and I got a really bad bug. I'm just barely starting to get over that. Yeah, so you guys got sick too? Yeah. You know, that's pretty common. I usually get juggalitis when I go super hard at a juggalo event. It's really not that uncommon for me. Like I got a really bad bug after I got back from the gathering last year. Usually too, if I'm like moshing really hard and I got like all kinds of sweaty juggalos all over me and just rubbing their sweat and all kinds of fucking bodily fluids all over me, I usually end up getting juggalitis from that shit. But you know what? It's okay. It's worth it. It's all part of the circus. But yeah, sorry to hear that y'all are sick too. Hope you get better soon. I'm just barely starting to get better now. Yeah, anyway, back on to some of the strange music news. New music from Mayday, new music from Stevie Stone. And looks like Tech Nine, he's on a European tour right now. He out in Europe, fucking playing for all those European motherfuckers and motherfuckettes. Two, he also just announced that he's going to be kicking off the It Goes Up tour here in the U.S. It's a big tour. It's 2 months long, and they're hitting all kinds of fucking dates on that shit. And I'm actually looking forward to this tour because lately when Tech Nine comes to town, he doesn't really bring anybody else on the Strange Music Camp. But this time looks like he is actually bringing out some motherfuckers and motherfuckettes. Looks like who will be joining him will be Chris Calico, this Dax, someone named Dax. I have no fucking clue who that is. But Mayday, I'm really glad to see Mayday is on the bill. I know Mayday is pretty slept on. And if you've never seen Mayday perform live, they are a spectacle to behold live. I'm telling you what, you don't want to miss Mayday live. They have a full band and everything. They have like drummers. They're playing like the bongos and shit and the guitars and keyboard and everything. Mayday is super sick. I'm really glad to see that, Tech Nine picked them back up to take them out on the road with him. Because lately, we haven't been seeing much of Mayday. And then also, Ubiquitous from Cess Crew will be joining them too. I don't know if y'all knew, Cess Crew broke up recently and they are no longer a group. However, Ubi or Ubiquitous, he's still rapping and doing solo shit. So he'll be out on that tour as well with Tech Nine. And they're hitting 4 Colorado dates. So I know I'd like to get out to one of those for sure. So yeah, Strange Music's coming out with a lot of dope shit. And, I know this isn't Strange Music because Brother Lynch isn't on Strange Music anymore, but a new Brother Lynch album just dropped, an EP called Torment. So any Brother Lynch Hung fans out there, I know I'm a big Brother Lynch Hung fan. There's new music out there in case y'all wanted to know. A little bit of news out of the MNE camp. Fucking the Axis Family Tour just starting to kick off. I think it kicked off last night or the night before. And they're going for about a month. It's AXE, the Axe Burner Boys, and Scum and Insane Poetry doing the Make My Motherfucking Day, triple MFD. So any y'all ninjas gonna hit that up, definitely make sure to hit up that show. What else coming out of the MNE camp? Fucking looks like Twisted announced a couple mystery tours. They're doing like a little week-long mystery date where they're performing basically an album or an era, but it'll be a surprise until ninjas just come in, and you won't even know when you buy the ticket what you're seeing. It could be anything from Most Tasteless all the way up to Abominations is what it looks like. So I think, I know a lot of people out there hating on Twisted and all that shit, but actually I think that's a pretty fresh idea. I've never, that's a pretty original idea. I've never seen anybody really come out and do something like that before. So I think that's pretty dope to kind of put out a mystery era tour kind of thing. I know it's only like a week long or something. That'd be dope if ICP did something like that, just like mystery era. And they just, you don't know what they're doing until you're at the show. I think that's pretty dope. And at the same time, they're also performing Wicked. They're doing the 10-year anniversary of Wicked. So I know a couple dates out in the Midwest are getting they're getting the Wicked tour for that motherfucking ass, celebrating 10 years of Wicked. So I think that's pretty fresh. Anybody who's into Twisted and who, supports Wicked and all that shit, that's pretty fucking fresh. And what else? What else coming out of the M&E camp right now? Oh yeah, Twisted says they're giving away $10,000 here and on March 1st. If you follow them on social media, um, I'm not exactly sure what that entails, but yeah, they're giving away 10 grand to a lucky ninja. So make sure if you follow Twisted, see what that's all about. You know, you never know. You could be that one lucky motherfucker or motherfuckette to win $10,000. Um, but yeah, that's about it coming out of the M&E camp. Um, I just really have a lot of other shit to talk about, really. So I guess let's just get started. Uh, I'm kind of sick, and I'm not gonna get into like a full in-depth review or anything. I know there's a million other reviews out there for the FFF, and I'm not gonna do a song by song review tonight, but I'm gonna just kind of do a general review of the album and the Joker card. There's a lot of great shit to be said about it. But in terms of some news that's coming out of Psychopathic, looks like we're getting a cipher. We're getting a new Psychopathic cipher on March motherfucking 1st. And not really any details about who's going to be in it. I can bet you money that ABK won't be in it. Sad to say. But, that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But ABK, you don't really be getting any love from ICP anymore. He's not really getting invited to anything when it comes to Psychopathic anymore. Like, sure, at the gatherings he's getting invited, but otherwise you don't really see him involved with any other Psychopathic events. So I could probably say pretty confidently at this point that fucking we won't see ABK on that fucking cipher. But either way, it should be fresh. Those ciphers are always super fucking dope. And yeah, we also recently got some pretty fucking mind-blowing news, and it's kind of crazy. Not very many people have been talking about this that much, but it's really groundbreaking news. The whole meaning of the 665 was revealed to us just a day or two before Fearless Fred Fury was actually released upon the world. And I was one of those ninjas that actually speculated this theory quite a while ago, actually, when I first kind of started looking into the whole 665. But yeah, it was confirmed, motherfuckers and motherfuckettes, that we are now looking at another deck of Joker cards after this 6 has dropped. Yes, ICP will be dropping another 5 Joker cards on the motherfucking world. A total of 17 Joker cards. Now, I did speculate this theory a while back. However, I kind of dismissed it on my own accord because I'm thinking there's no way they're going to be doing 3 decks. They'll be in their fucking late 60s or 70s by the time the third, by the time the 5th Joker card of the 3rd deck drops. But they confirmed it. They said they're going to do it. And, the Wicked Clowns don't ever die. And, they've made this clear to us since the very beginning that they ain't never going to stop and ain't nothing going to slow them down. And that's just going to be the way it fucking is. And they might be fucking 70 years old by the time that shit comes out. Shit, they might have to have Ruby and JJ take over. I don't know. But either way, it's been confirmed that the legacy will live on. So all the motherfucking haters and doubters out there that say ICP is slowing down and that they're well past their prime, you're wrong, because they're gonna keep doing this shit, and they're very confident about not stopping anytime soon and not slowing down anytime soon. So this was kind of groundbreaking news, in my opinion. That it was officially confirmed that we will get 17 Joker cards in a total. So I think that's pretty crazy. And I think it's really fresh at the same time because it just means more freshness to look forward to pretty much forever. And, they've even said they're going to keep doing this unless something devastating happens, like if someone fucking dies or, if there's a disaster. But otherwise, they're going to keep doing this shit. And, some people might think, well, they don't have it in them anymore. But if you listen to Fearless Fred Fury and you've listened to this new Joker card, you'll know that they are in their prime still to this day. And it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. The Wicked Clowns will never die, and they are, in fact, eternal. You know, when I think about this kind of thing, I try to think about how many bands actually out there really are actually continuing. Like, how many bands out there have had a legacy for this long? And when I go and I rack my brain about it, and I really try to think in history what bands are kind of eternal, and I think the Beatles. The Beatles were doing it for decades, decades and decades. And you know, now half the Beatles are dead, but you know, they're still considered one of the greatest bands of all time. Another one that I think of when I think about this stuff is the Grateful Dead. And that's one thing that Juggalos have been compared to a lot, actually, by people in terms of being a subculture, is the Grateful Dead movement and the Deadheads. And you know, I was raised by hippies, and you know, I've known the Grateful Dead my whole life, pretty much, and I know that they were doing their shit starting in like the late '60s, early '70s, and they went all the way until the '90s. So about, you know, 30 years span, until Jerry Garcia died, and even after Jerry Garcia died, the band still continued playing, and they made, you know, subgroups, you know, like the Dark Star Orchestra, Dead and Company, you know, those kinds of bands that ended up spawning from, you know, as a result of Jerry Garcia dying. And now, you know, you could still go to a Grateful Dead concert to this day. I mean, it's not the Grateful Dead anymore; they call it Dead and Company. But you could still go to a Dead and Company show to this day in 2019, and it will be a sold out, packed stadium. Yes, motherfuckers, stadium. And you know, I'm not sitting here on the show trying to put my nuts all over the Grateful Dead. But my point is that they're the only band I can think of that even comes close to the ICP Juggalo movement. That, you know, they started in, like I said, early '70s or something like that, and are still going and still selling out stadiums. So that they're eternal, you know, in my mind. The Grateful Dead are eternal. And this is what I see happening with ICP. The Juggalos are a movement bigger than the band itself. You know, even ICP has admitted it in interviews before that the Juggalos have expanded and grown into a thing bigger than ICP had ever even imagined themselves. What up, JP? Thanks for dropping by. Fucking so, essentially, what I'm saying is, Insane Clown Posse, I can see them getting bigger and lasting even longer than the Grateful Dead, you know, has. And eventually, you know, already ICP has been around 30 years. And that's longer than most bands stay around, regardless. You know, 90% of bands don't stay around that long anyway. And they're still coming out with hit music. They're still coming out with top charting fucking albums. And I don't see them stopping anytime soon. So that's what makes me think that after the 17th Joker card, you know, we're going to be seeing there, you know, ICP will have been around for 50 years at that point. A half a motherfucking century. The Insane Clown Posse will have made their mark on the music industry and just the music world. And there is no doubting how absolutely impactful they've already done. They've already paved the way. There's no fucking question, unless you're just dumb. There is no way you can't admit that the Insane Clown Posse are on fire, and that there is no sign of them slowing down at any time. So I just think that, that's something definitely to mention because it's just absolutely mind blowing to me. Most bands don't stick around for that long, and we're gonna see the Insane Clown Posse around for fucking ever, you guys, for fucking ever. And that's something magical. That's something beyond the worldly realm. That's something beyond what we can just call, physically possible. That is the Dark Carnival working its magic. ICP has even said in multiple interviews that they don't have this whole shit planned out. They don't know what the next Joker card is going to be. They are simply uh, tools that the Dark Carnival has blessed to carry out its message. And that is exactly what the fuck is happening, motherfuckers and motherfuckettes, is the Dark Carnival has used Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalos to deliver and carry out the eternal message of the Dark Carnival. And it's pure motherfucking magic. And it's something beyond worldly comprehension. So there's no doubting that this is magic, and that there is no doubting that this is, in the hands of something much higher than just us. So it's really a blessing to be part of this movement, and it's really an absolute, just mind blowing to me to think that I'm even a part of this subculture that is huge, bigger than I could possibly imagine, and one day will be bigger than the Grateful Dead movement. And like I said, the Grateful Dead is the only fucking comparison I can even think to make when it concerns musical subcultures, almost like cult movement. And I understand cult has kind of a negative connotation to it, but when I say cult, I don't mean it in a bad way. Cult just means culture, and it's basically we've taken this culture in our own hands and have made it and moved it into something so massive and something so beyond comprehension. So anyway, y'all, that is my thoughts on the 665 and the 17 Joker cards. Don't expect it to stop anytime soon. So that was some major news dropped on us by the one and only Duke of the Wicked, Violent J, just days before Fearless Fred Fury dropped on the world. Other news coming out of Psychopathic right now. For all y'all motherfuckers been paying attention to Rude Boy and Violent J, looks like they might be slanted to do a rematch at JCW's fucking the Supamania at the Gathering of the Juggalos 2019. It's just been going back and forth. Jay taunting Rude Boy and challenging him, and Rude Boy taunting back and challenging him back. We haven't officially gotten an actual confirmation from Rude Boy yet. He said that he's retired and yada yada and this and that, but I think we're gonna see a rematch at the Gathering of the Juggalos. Yes, JP, I already discussed the cipher. I believe it's coming out on March 1st. And that's all I know. For all I know, I don't even know who's going to be in it. I've heard rumors from people on the internet saying it's only going to be ICP and then other featured artists that are not part of the label. I've also heard rumors that it's just going to be ICP, Light, and Ouija. But who the fuck knows? Honestly, some people say, oh, well, it's just whoever's on the Psychopathic roster at the time, but that's not always true because there have been previous ciphers that have that there haven't been certain artists on. I would say Light better be on it too. And the first thing that comes to mind for me, JP, just because I'm a huge ABK fan, is I would hope to see ABK on it, but I could already bet money that he won't be. And it's sad to me because ABK is not really getting invited to jack shit anymore from Psychopathic. It's almost like Psychopathic has completely devalued him and doesn't understand how much ABK has already contributed to the Juggalo world. I think, to me, ABK is an OG. To me, ABK has put in more work and has earned his, stripes on Psychopathic much more than Light or Ouija have. by times a million, and yet he's treated like shit. And it honestly, it gets my blood boiling to just talk about how much ABK is treated like shit on the hatchet. But anyway, that's a whole topic for a whole nother podcast. I don't want to talk too much about that. But yes, I am still looking forward to that Cypher JP, the Wicked Ninja. I still, of course, am looking forward to that. So hopefully, you know, we won't be disappointed on that end. Anyway, yeah, so Supermania, Rude Boy and Jay, hopefully we see that shit at the gathering. And also, hopefully Jay doesn't get hurt. Hopefully Rude Boy doesn't get hurt. If you want my actual opinion, I think Violent J is going to get his ass kicked. Because, you know, Rude Boy is actually a professional wrestler. Like, he's been doing this shit longer than Jay. You know, I think he's also slightly in a little better shape than Violent J is. And, you know, Violent J, for anybody who saw him wrestle at Gathering 17, saw how very close he was to breaking his neck. And it would have been very sad to see something like that happen to the Duke. So, you know, obviously putting good energy out there, but please be careful, Violent J, please. We don't want to see anything happen to the Duke of the Wicked, especially at the 20th Gathering of the Juggalos. But otherwise, that's exciting news. You know, that's going to be huge. Hopefully, we will see a rematch between the Rude Boy and Violent J. Yeah, coming out of retirement, right? But like I think he'll still kick Violent J's ass, if you want my honest opinion. Also, concerning the Super Gathering and the Gathering of the motherfucking Juggalos 2019, the tickets have been pushed back. And the ticket sales have been pushed back. And I'm actually really excited about that, because the way they had it before was that tickets were going on sale on Juggalo Day, the 17th. And I was concerned that, you know, I wasn't going to be able to purchase my tickets in time, being at Juggalo Day and not having the funds and stuff like that. So I'm really actually glad to see that the sales are getting pushed back. It sounds like they're going to be releasing that information later on at the end of the month. So, you know, I'm not disappointed about that whatsoever. I think that's actually good news. Anyone that hasn't seen the No Jumper interview with ICP, go check that out. That came out, I think, right on the day Fred came out. It's a great interview. It's about an hour and a half. You know, there's not too many bombs dropped, nothing like groundbreaking, newsworthy in it, but it's still a great interview. They chop it up with Adam 22. Adam 22 even paints his face, and it's just a great fucking interview for anybody who's interested in the clowns and their story. And also, it sounds like Jay's back on the weed, so I think that's really dope to hear that Jay's back on the motherfucking reefer. It seems like he always does better mentally when he's just smoking weed and not doing all kinds of pills and shit like that. So it sounds like Jay is back on the motherfucking reefer. So good for you, Jay. Hopefully, you know, you stay on the weed and nothing else. Honestly, I think Jay makes better music, and I think he's just more mentally stable when he's strictly smoking weed and not doing all kinds of pills and shit like that. Yeah, same ICP story exactly, but you know, I could hear that story 10,000 times and not get bored. Honestly, JP. You know, call me a mark. I already know I'm a huge ICP mark, but I don't get bored hearing that story. And honestly, every single time I hear it, it's almost like I learned something new. You know, even if I already did know everything. You know, if you really pay attention to the interview, you'll notice there are certain things that you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that before. Or like, oh, I never put that together kind of thing. So I don't know, just a super fucking fresh interview. So go check that out. No Jumper, the Insane Clown Posse. Great interview with the clowns. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it sounds like Jay's back on the weed. So good for him. That means more creative genius from him and just more mental stability, I believe. Also, they sold out 2 nights in a row at the House of Blues in New Orleans. This got them to win 2 awards. They got the House of Blues awards twice for selling that bitch the fuck out. So go check that out. The pictures are on Fago Lovers. It's some really dope looking awards. And yeah, so good for them. You know, I was at JDAY. And that's what I'm about to talk about now. That's because that's about pretty much the end of my news. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Juggalo Day and FFF because they're kind of go hand in hand together for me. As the first time I listened to FFF was at Juggalo Day, and I think it's just gonna hold a special a special point in my heart because of that shit. So anyway, you have the audio chapters saved to a playlist. Hell yeah. I haven't fully listened to all of the audiobook, but I really do enjoy the audiobook. There's a lot kind of more added to it. Jay talks in like special voices, and he adds a little bit more to the story in the audiobook. It's really dope. I enjoy that shit. Actually, that's another thing that was mentioned in the fucking No Jumper interview really briefly was like why, like, Jay was talking about how he wrote a book back in 2003 talking about their whole career at that point, and almost as if like that was the end. Like, all right, we're done with the 6 Joker card. I'm gonna write my biography and blah blah blah. And now it's like, well, shit. There's been between 2003 and now, there's been so much other shit. They could write another book at this point. So I don't know, if that's ever gonna happen. Obviously there's been all kinds of rumors about Shaggy's book and about John Kickjazz's book and this and that, and you would never really know what's actually in the works. But it would be sick to get a second edition of Behind the Paint, basically 2003 to now. They could make 3 books actually at this. They could make 2 more books, basically covering the time span from 2003 to now. Yeah, Behind the Paint book 2 and 3. That's what I'm saying, JP. Like, honestly, 2003 to 2013, that could be a whole nother book. And then 2013 to now, that's practically a whole nother book too. Like, it's fucking mind-blowing to me. So yeah, anyway, just as a side note, I thought that would be super sick to get another edition of Behind the Paint. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about JDAY, just like the general shit about it and kind of some of my thoughts. It was an interesting JDAY. Well, I mean, it was fucking dope. But there were certain things that had me scratching my head a little bit. One of those things was that there were no real supporting acts. There was not really any openers on either of the 2 main nights. Now, I'm not talking about Mardi Gras, because the Mardi Gras party was all kinds of fucking dope-ass juggalos. Mardi Gras was basically just for juggalos by juggalos. It was a show basically set up by a bunch of ninjas, and it featured a bunch of ninjas. Yeah, each deck its own book. I totally agree, man. That would be insane. So anyway, yeah, the first night, Mardi Gras, was dope. Got to see my homies perform. And then Light wrapped it up at the end of the night. And it was a really dope show. It just had a super dope juggalo feel to it. It wasn't like it was a big show being put on by a big record label. It was just like a for juggalo by juggalo feel to it. Juggalos in the audience, juggalos on stage. It was like we were all one. There was no like real superiors. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that made it really dope. What up, Steel City? Whoop whoop. Thanks for dropping on by. Just starting to get into Juggalo Day a little bit and talking a little bit about Mardi Gras. Got to see my homies perform. Got this dope ass shirt from my homie. It's my homie Toon Chaos. This is basically my ninja growing up. This is like my little brother right here. Got to see him perform on Juggalo Day or on Mardi Gras, and he put on a hell of a set. So shout out to my homie Ganja from Toon Chaos. Fucking, he killed it that night. Yeah, thanks for watching my vlogs, bro. I didn't do great, honestly. I didn't record as much as I wanted to. I could have recorded so much more, but there are certain reasons why I didn't. Sometimes my phone battery was dead, Other times my service was just completely shit. And then other times I was just juggling too hard to even remember to start live streaming. But for all you motherfuckers that did peep out the vlogs, I thank you. You know, I tried to do my best. I understand I could have recorded probably a lot more, but it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, we got into town we got into town early as fuck. Actually, probably like like a day before Mardi Gras. Me and my homie drove 20 hours through fucking New Mexico, Texas, and Louisiana, and you know, got there, totally wiped the fuck out, and basically, you know, I went to sleep that night. The next day, woke up, and there were already all kinds of motherfuckers. This was Thursday. This was the day before FFF came out. There were all types of motherfuckers gathered in New Orleans, and there was a Echo Side tournament going on at somebody's house, at some random ninja's house in New Orleans. So me and the homies, we all mobbed over to this to the ninja's house that was holding this Echo Side tournament, and it was just dope. It felt like a little mini DCG con because it was like literally this little mini house in the middle of this ghetto ass neighborhood. And basically all the juggalos just swarmed this neighborhood. And I'm sure all the neighbors were like, what's all this what's all this white trash doing here and shit? It was super epic. There was fucking ninjas all over the front yard. There was ninjas packing that house. I'm talking like a little house in the middle of the ghetto. And if this is just where the fucking little mini DCG con was going. Roxy, what's up? Whoop, whoop. Thanks for dropping by. Just doing a little JDAY review. You know, not many people watching this shit, but the people that are, thank you. And, you know, this is your chance to hear a little bit about JDAY because I know not very many people have gotten on and talked about JDAY weekend. But anyway, so yeah, me and the homies, we mobbed over to this little house for this little mini DCG con. I don't play Echo Side. I haven't learned how to play yet. So I really just kicked it on the front porch and just, you know, chopped it up with my ninjas. Got to meet all kinds of motherfuckers and motherfuckettes. And I ended up getting to buy some pretty cool custom shit. I can't show it to you right now. However, long story short, I lost some of this custom shit, and I'm getting it reordered from this ninja that I met there. And I will show you guys some of this custom shit, but that's aside the point. There was this little mini Into the Echo Side tournament going on in the ghetto of New Orleans, and it was just fucking awesome. I promise you, there was probably like 50 juggalos on the front lawn, and then there was probably another 50 to 100 inside, just totally packing that house to the brim. They had ninjas in there cooking up and whipping up some homemade tacos with carne asada. There was some ninjas in there making burgers, and we were just sitting there. I was sitting up in the couch up front in the front porch, just drinking and eating and just chilling, you know, chopping it up with the juggalos. Spreading the juggalitis. Shit, I'm not trying to spread it. But, you know, I probably am at this point. If anybody is close to me, I'm probably spreading my juggalitis. I apologize. I'm just playing. I don't think that'll get you sick. But yeah, I'm not trying to spread juggalitis. Shit. Anyway, so yeah. Then later on that night, fucking it was the Mardi Gras event where we went, and there was all kinds of local, not necessarily local, but you know, juggalo openers like my homies, and Light ended up headlining at the end of the night. It was super fucking fresh. It wasn't as packed as the next two nights, so it was kind of nice getting, you know, more of a spacey venue. And yeah, so Light really killed it that night. My homies killed it that night. The next day, you know, I'm trying to do just kind of a quick review for you guys because I know there's a lot I could talk about. The next day, I explored Bourbon Street, explored some of you know, the town of New Orleans, walked around with the homies a little bit, and with fucking I met up with a lot of the ninjas in the YJC. I met up with Silent J. I got to kick it with him for a little bit. Who else was there in the fucking YJC? Silent J. I saw Random Ninja 40. I saw Violent George. I saw fucking God, why is my fucking brain blanking right now? Rude Mark, saw Sid Jones, saw fucking Bob Rocks. Sorry if I'm forgetting anybody else I got in the YJC. But yeah, I got to meet some of those ninjas. I think I met Silent J at the gathering, but it was still nice to see a lot of these ninjas again. That second night, fresh that Tom Wood was set up that night. Yes, Tom Wood was set up on the night of Mardi Gras selling his art. I didn't get to buy anything, but I did chop it up with Tom Wood for a couple minutes. He's a super cool dude. For anybody who hasn't got to talk to Tom Wood, he's super easy to talk to, and he's an approachable dude. And he was just partying all weekend with everybody, acting hella cool. Yeah, my homie ended up buying one of his paintings. But yeah, it was dope to see him set up there. But anyway, yeah, so the second night was when it started getting really insane. Not really the second night at JDAY, the first official night at JDAY, JDAY night 1. It was Violent J solo set and Shaggy doing a solo set that night. And it was kind of crazy because there were no openers. It kind of got me confused. I was like, cool, like we haven't heard any news of any opening acts, any supporting acts, or anything like that. And for that night, shit, there was none, pretty much. I don't think. Was there, Silent J? Also, another thing that kind of got me stumped and scratching my head was that there was no wrestling. And I know as for JDAY, Juggalo Day has always had wrestling. And that's like half of the main attraction of Juggalo Day is the wrestling part. And part of what got me thinking about no wrestling was fucking that KG wasn't there, Kevin Gill. Now, don't ask me what's going on with Kevin Gill and the Clowns, because as far as I know, they got some beef for an unknown reason. I honestly have no idea. All I know is KG is not working with ICP anymore. Just kind of out of the blue, Kevin Gill is not part of Psychopathic anymore. And I was thinking this could have been a big reason as to why there was no wrestling at Juggalo Day. Now, I could be totally wrong. It could have just been that there was no wrestling because the venue didn't have any space for wrestling. That is also completely a possibility. Yeah, that's right. Just Clownvis. I forget about Clownvis because he's so unimportant to me that I just don't fucking think about it. Honestly, I don't even get me started on Clownvis. He's fucking horrible. And yeah, DJ Carlito, he was mixing it up and just playing some dope shit on the 1s and 2s. But yeah, otherwise, you know what I'm saying though. There was no like big opening acts. There was no like last year they had Ritz, they had Kung Fu Vampire, they had fucking the Flatliners. It was just crazy that this Juggalo Day was so ICP exclusive. Even Ouija and Hoodoo, they didn't even play a set until the second night. I could have swore that we'd have seen them opening up on the first night. But regardless, this is no complaints. I'm just simply saying it was kind of interesting that we didn't really see any of that shit. They started off the main big show on that first night, Saturday night, was Violent J doing a solo set. There was some speculation from some of the ninjas in the crowd that it would have been Isham and Violent J basically doing the E and J set, making up for all the ninjas that missed that shit. But alas, Isham was not in the house. It was just Violent J, and Rude Boy came up on stage and pretty much was his hype man for his entire set. So it was pretty cool getting to see Violent J and Rude Boy up on stage, kind of just bouncing off each other, and they played a fucking awesome set. I put a couple clips on my YouTube if you guys want to check it out. you know, I had only ever seen Violent J do a solo set once ever in my life. And he played a lot of great songs. He played some ICP songs, some just solo Violent J songs. Either way, Violent J totally fucking killed it that night. And Dreaming would have been heaven if Lotus was there. Yeah, you know, that's pretty much the case for any, you know, I was halfway hoping for Lotus set at the Gathering last year. But you know, like you said, dreaming. So yeah, anyway, what a crazy fucking night. The House of Blues, they are not that big of a venue. They had an upstairs balcony and shit. But by the time Violent J got up there and started doing his solo shit, fucking that house was packed to the brim, ninjas. And not only was it packed to the brim, but it was packed to the brim on the outside. And they definitely oversold that venue. I gotta say, they oversold the fuck out of that venue. There were juggalos literally about to blow the walls off of that place. Luckily, I got a good spot right up front for Jay. And, you know, I couldn't really turn around if I wanted to because there would be no chance of me getting back up front because the house was so fucking packed. You know, Jay did his thing for about an hour. There was a very short little intermission. Then Shaggy quickly jumped on and did his fuck off motherfuckers set with DJ Carlito. Equally as wig splitting, equally as mind blowing as Violent J's set. You know, the house was packed, bouncing, great mosh pits, great energy. Everybody was jumping up and down throughout the whole fucking night for Jay and Shags, each respectively. So much love to all the ninjas in the house that really showed out for Jay and Shags because that was fucking insane. Yes, dead bodies make me happy, and so does mass murder. So you know that pretty much wrapped up night one of Juggalo Day. Fucking the next night was just a regular ICP set. They had Ouija, Hoodoo, and Light. I think Light came back up and did opened up. So Light, Ouija, and Hoodoo came on. Remind me if I'm forgetting anybody, Silent J. But I'm pretty sure it was just them opening up for the Clowns that night. And you know, I didn't really see them, honestly. I was juggling too hard, and I was just fucking. I was trying to get merch. The merch line took like an hour and a half to get through, so I didn't really get to see any of them. I did however, get to organize all my shit, have the homie, you know, hold my backpack and everything, hold most of my valuables because I was getting wet that night. And, you know, I was determined, me and the homies were determined to get on stage for Fago Armageddon. You know, we had no VIP, so, you know, fuck VIP. I'll get on the motherfucking stage anyway. And that's exactly what we did. We fucking moshed our asses off and got soaking wet in Fago for the ICP set. You know, they played a pretty general set. They played pretty much all the regular songs that they usually play, except for at the very end, they did play, I think 2 or 3 songs off Fearless Fred Fury. They played Low was one of the songs, and the other song that I remember that they played was Seriously Hilarious. Remind me if they played anything else off FFF, but I'm pretty sure it was just those 2 songs. Oh yeah, that's right. Rude Boy sang a couple of songs. He sang like Journey and some other gay shit. And he actually threw out a jersey, a custom Rude Boy jersey. It said Rude Boy on the back and 665, and it was Fearless Fred on the front. And he threw that shit out the crowd. I had my motherfucking right hand on that jersey. However, all the there, you know, I should have had 2 hands on that bitch because there was a fucking hog pile, and turns out I wasn't able to cop the jersey. I did have my fucking hand on it though, briefly. However, I was not committed enough, I guess you could say. What's up, Bronco Juggalo? What up, man? Glad to see you up in this motherfucker. So yeah, that's right. Rude Boy played a couple songs, threw out a jersey, and then we partied for the Clowns. You know, and that's probably where I caught my juggalitis. You know, I was just in such a massive mosh pit of a million fucking juggalos, and you know, the house was popping that whole night. You know, there's no other way to explain it. You know, people showed up so much for the clowns. It was an absolutely amazing set. I did end up getting to go on stage for Fago Armageddon for their closing song, which was actually interesting. As their closing song for that night, they played the one and only Murder Go Round. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they closed the night with Murder Go Round, one of my favorite of all time ICP songs ever, hands down, from the Ringmaster. That's actually one of my favorite songs of all fucking time. They closed the night with Murder Go Round. I hopped up on stage with the homies, fucking bashed my knee super fucking hard. If you guys want to see my battle scar, here's my fucking battle scar. Bashed my fucking knee on the stage, trying to get up there for Fago Armageddon. But alas, I did get up there, and that's my fucking battle scar. So, you know, I don't really care that I got that shit. And got to spray some Fago for one of my favorite ICP songs of all time, Murder Go Round. And, you know, that pretty much was a very, very short review of Juggalo Day weekend in New Orleans. Yeah, I remember that, Silent J. You looked so confused. Bro, you had the most confused look on your face that night, homie, when all you got was water. And you know what? I shouldn't be laughing because honestly, the VIPs got fucked. VIPs got fucked this weekend. And I was not one of the VIPs, but I do know because one of my homies was, and he didn't end up getting the mask. And honestly, that would have been one of the main things I would have signed up for VIP for was the Mardi Gras mask. And they didn't get the masks. They didn't get half the shit they were promised. They didn't get the whole Fago thing for night one. Man, yeah, they said they were going to be Fago. I remember you just had these bottles of water in your hand and you had the most confused look on your face, homie. Oh my God, I was busting. I was like, hey, there's my homie on stage, but he doesn't look that happy. Oh man, what fucking craziness. I'm sorry to y'all who got fucked for VIP. But, you know, that's part of one of the reasons why I don't usually buy VIP is because more than half the time, it seems like people get fucked over and they don't get the shit that they're promised. But anyway, it is what it is. It's just how it sometimes goes. What else can I talk about for Juggalo Day? You know, I don't want to be up on here for hours. I just kind of wanted to just talk a little bit about the general shit. You know, I got to, for anybody that didn't get to see New Orleans and shit, check out my vlogs. I do have a couple vlogs where I'm walking around Bourbon Street and other parts of New Orleans. So go check out my YouTube and check out my Juggalo Day vlogs if you wanted to see a little bit of the city. You know, my favorite food that I ate while I was there was fried crawfish, and a bowl of seafood gumbo. From this dope food truck, and I also had a really bomb fried catfish po' boy. And that, you know, I didn't get to have any beignets, or I never get to have any fucking gators. Peace out, Bronco. Thanks for dropping by, man. Yeah, that's one thing I fucking was a little disappointed with. I never got to have any gator, but that's okay. Next time. But my favorite food, I gotta say, was this fucking fried crawfish and seafood gumbo was the bomb. And what else? Yeah, another thing that really was impactful for this Juggalo Day weekend for me was listening to the new Joker card out in New Orleans. And you know, I had this fucking CD on just cycling in my car the whole entire time I was out there. So I got to really kind of listen to it a bunch. Every time I got into the car, I was listening to Fred. What up, Juggalos versus Food? You are a new face in here I've never seen before. Welcome. Fucking, but yeah, I listened to Fred a bunch of times and got to really digest him as a Joker card. You know, I'm probably not even going to do a review on this episode because I'm already been talking all fucking day. and I'm trying to get off here pretty soon, so I might do a separate review of Fearless Fred Fury and Flip the Rat. But I will say right now that I absolutely love this Joker card. It blows my wig back, and I gotta say it's my favorite Joker card off the second deck. And ICP is back. The clowns are fucking back. I like every single song on the record. There is not a song that I skip by. If there is any song that I'm not a huge fan of, it's nobody's fault. But it's not like I even hate that song. It's like meh, it's all right. But otherwise, that out of any song on the album, that's the only one I'm kind of just meh. The rest is just absolute mind blowing, wig splitting, punch to your fucking face. And it sounds like an old school Joker card to me, but at the same time, with new school sounds, it's new. It doesn't sound old. It's a fucking new Joker card, and they killed it. ICP fucking killed it. So yeah, I decided just right now, since I'm already getting tired, I'm gonna save my in-depth review for another video. But just know I fucking love Fearless Fred Fury, and I bust my balls however much you want, but guess what? I still have not listened to Flip the Rat in its entirety. I know, but part of it is that I'm waiting to listen to it with somebody. So I'm I don't want to be a dick and listen to it without that person. You know who you are if you're listening. I want to listen to that album with you, and that's why I'm waiting to listen to Flip the Rat. But I have it right here. I have it right here. And yeah, I did get my bundle pack from the fucking indie store. It came just like this, bundled up like this. And I also have another copy of Fearless Red Fury from the release party. So I have 2 copies of Fearless Red Fury and 1 copy of Flip the Rat at this point. New CD is really good. I wish they sent my shirt. Well, you should be getting your shirt soon, because I'm pretty sure most of the people that ordered pre-bundles like that are just starting to get their shirts like today and tomorrow and stuff. So hopefully you get your shirt tomorrow, Ninja. But anyway, yeah, so I have not listened to Flip the Rat yet in its entirety. I really am excited to listen to it. And that's part of why I don't want to do a review quite yet, is because I want to listen to that album first. Other than that, it's just such a special Joker card to me. The message is awesome. The concept is awesome. All in all, ICP came back and absolutely murdered it with this Joker card. So I couldn't be more happy with it, honestly. And then, of course, there is the speculation of what is the 5th Joker card, because there has been quite some talk about how the 5th Joker card was mentioned in the album 8 times. And, I've listened to it a bunch of times already. I've done a little bit of research, and I'm starting to count a little bit. And my speculation is that it has something to do with Brother, because Brother is mentioned at least 8 times. And I'm thinking Bedlam, because at least in the song Night of Red Rum, then the word Bedlam is mentioned at least 8 times. And I think it's even mentioned a few more times in other songs as well. So I'm thinking Bedlam Brother or Bedlam Brothers or something like that. That's my guess. You haven't listened to Flip yet either? Shit. All right, Silent J, thanks. I don't feel quite as bad yet. I feel like I'm one of the only ninjas that hasn't listened to it yet. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Even though I've listened to Fred like a fucking 50 times now already, I still have more to digest. It is such a chock full, awesome Joker card that it is impossible to fully digest it yet. I need to still listen to it to fully digest it. So by no means have I fully gotten everything out of Fearless Red Fury already. That hasn't happened yet. Yes, and Burn Our Fucking Tires. West Burner Avenue, one of my favorite songs off the track, JP, for sure. But I'm not going to discuss my favorite and least favorite tracks right now. I'm going to wait for my actual album review to do that. And right now, just kind of really just, yeah, Red Rum Brothers. That was a possibility too. They did say Red Rum a few times. So I don't know. Another one that I was thinking, and I was just kind of clowning when I said this. But you know, I'm like half kidding, and I'm also half not kidding. Is Willoughby Rags? You know, I've been talking about Willoughby Rags for a long ass time, and I've been talking about how it would be so fresh to see Willoughby Rags get his own Joker card. Do we really know who Willoughby Rags is? Do we really know what his role is in the Dark Carnival? Just saying. I'm not saying, you know, it's the best possibility. Honestly, my money is more on Bedlam Brother than Willoughby Rags. But another one I wanted to say, and this is also kind of clowning as well. But shit, I wanted to bring this up just because it's fucking funny to me. Night of Red Rum. Now I'm bringing up the lyrics right here because they have the lyrics in the fucking booklet, which is really awesome because they haven't done that since what, The Tempest, I think. But if you go into Night of Red Rum, and for the chorus, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, if you're in need of some bleeding fun, red rum, yum, red rum, flex some bedlam. Lubba geeka, lubba zum, so weeded I'm spreaded tongues. So needed I'm spreaded tongues. Or I'm speaking tongues, my bad. Lubba geeka, lubba zun. I was thinking, now I'm just clowning, halfway serious. Lubba zika, lubba zun. Jay says that 8 times in this song. Lubba zika, lubba zun. That would be fresh if that was the name of the next Joker card. Fucking, you know, who the fuck knows, honestly. Lubba zika, lubba zun. What if that really is the name of the next Joker card? Or what if that's just like the letters are just scrambled? You know, you're probably all thinking I'm a total crackhead for saying that. But Lubba zika, lubba zun. Who knows? I haven't heard anybody else say this theory. I am the only other motherfucker on the fucking planet who I've heard say Lubazika Lubazun as a possibility for the name of the 5th Joker card. So I'm just saying, I'm keeping my eyes and my mind open to possibilities. Only that he has a magical bag of poop. Yeah, that's the only thing that we know about Willoughby Rags, Roxy. Exactly. He has magical poop. And hey, if he's got magical poop, maybe he's worthy to be a Joker card. What is that backwards? See, I was thinking that same thing, JP. What is it backwards? Let's see right now. Labazika Labazun. It would be Abul Akgeek Abul News. So yeah, that doesn't nothing really. But who knows? What if the letters are scrambled or something? I don't know. It's just my mind playing tricks on me, and it's just my imagination going wild. But I think it would be super fresh if the name of the 5th Joker card wasn't just like some English words, if it was just some crazy, weird, ancient sounding language like Lubazika Lubazun. That would be fresh. It would be original. We haven't gotten anything like that in the past. So I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but I wanted to at least put that out there just in case I was right. I could be like, yo, I said that first, motherfuckers. Spell it in the chat. I will right now. But anyway, motherfuckers and motherfuckettes. That's pretty much my review of Juggalo Day and my short review of Fearless Red Fury. There's so much fucking insanely dope shit. I don't even know how to get to the fucking chat, dude. I don't know how to get to it right now. I don't even see where my shit is. Oh, here we go. Here, I'll type it right now. Lubba Zika Lubba Zune. I don't know. I'm a crackhead, so you know that's what got me thinking. Like maybe it's Lubba Zika Lubba Zun. Just because you know me and Jay we're both kind of crackheads, so I can't exactly imagine, it being out of the realm of possibility. Just saying. But anyway, motherfuckers, I don't want to get this podcast going too long, and I probably will end up doing a separate episode for my actual review of Fearless Fred Fury and Flip the Rat. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to my story. Thanks for listening and tuning in onto the news about what the fuck is happening now. If anybody else has any other questions or anything else they want to say, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Steel the Ummer. It sounds like the name of like a demon or something. And dude, that's why he's saying it in Night of Red Rum. What is Night of Red Rum about? It's about a cursed bottle of rum. It's not just any bottle of rum. No, he stumbles into it. He stumbles into it at a mausoleum. He says the doors creaked open, and next, he's getting it on with a dead body. And next thing you know, there's a fucking bottle of rum. It's red and it's cursed. And, next thing you know, he's drinking it and fucking starts going on a murdering rampage. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. You know what I'm saying? It does kind of remind me of Beelzebub as well. It's like the demon. And what does he say? Lubazika, Lubazum, something, I'm speaking tongues. And oftentimes when people be speaking tongues, it's because they're being possessed by the devil or by some entity. And I don't know. I'm starting to, I'm probably just stoned and just this theory kind of is going out of hand. But I think it would be super fucking fresh if the name of the next Joker card was something along the lines of Lubazika Lubazun, motherfucker. Blazing Beelzebub. Yeah. Hell yeah, you guys. Well, fucking thanks for tuning in. The very few of you that were watching, y'all are the shit. Make sure to share this shit out. Make sure to give a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, hopefully I'll get up on here soon and do an actual review of Fearless Fred Fury. Oh, what up, Warlock Side? I'm coming in right as I'm about to end the stream. But yeah, Lubazika Lubazun, motherfuckers. Also, I'm going to share my unpopular opinions because everybody out on the internet is saying Bedlam Brothers and fucking Machete Eddie, which, by the way, Machete Eddie, I feel like you could shoot that one down immediately because Machete Eddie is literally only mentioned like 2 times. It's not mentioned very many times, unless I'm just not thinking about it. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I don't think Machete Eddie is mentioned that many times. But I've been seeing it all over the internet. People say, oh, Machete Eddie, Machete Eddie. Bedlam Brother is definitely a possibility because Brother is mentioned a bunch of times separately. And then Bedlam is also mentioned a bunch of different times separately. And, they never said that the name was put, together 8 times. It just says it was mentioned 8 times. So it could be 2 separate words, 3 separate words that were mentioned all separately, but you just have to put them together. It fits. I think all letters. Wait, what does, bro? Blazin' Beelzebub? Wait, are you saying that's Lubazika Lubazun? Dude, because if you are saying that, then that's blowing my fucking mind. Dude. I don't even know, man. I'm the only person that's thought of this Lubazika Lubazun thing, and I think I could be onto something, motherfuckers. Maybe. I don't know. JP, rack your mind on it. Think about it, man. Think about it. And it is mentioned a lot of times in that song. I tell you what. I don't know about 8. I haven't counted exactly, but it's mentioned at least a bunch of times because it's in the chorus. He says, La bazika, la bazan, blah, 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 flex on bedlam. Yeah, fucking, that's one of my favorite songs is Night of Red Rum. I love that shit. I fucking love that shit. But all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to be wrapping this shit up. Fucking, I'm going to be listening to this. By the next time I come back up on YouTube, I will actually have something to say about Flip the Rat. But until then, thanks y'all for fucking tuning in to what the fuck is happening now. And I will be back another day. And that's it, motherfuckers. Y'all have a good week, and I will catch you later. Whoop, whoop.